for individuals, what you expect from individuals in terms of managing conflict?
Managing conflict is a very personal thing, and I know there are lots of presentations and teaching materials that referees can look at, but at the end of the day, it's about each individual. You know, what's inside, their strength. What do we say? Intestinal fortitude. And I don't think there are two referees the same. I can talk from my personal experience, but I had a big advantage because I was teacher, sports psychologist, and a great interest in behaviour modification. With referees, they all come in all shapes and sizes and shades of how they're going to deal with conflict. You can show them videos. It works for some of them, it doesn't work for others. You can show them clips excuse me, of body language, because body language has a lot of warning signs of what could be coming, but if you don't understand body language, you don't pick it up. I think the biggest common denominator in conflict management is a lack of feel for the game, which is a combination of understanding the game. Maybe you've played, maybe you've coached, or you've played at a high level in another sport, then you can transfer skills like I did with football. Then it's about your own unique personality, you know, what kind of a person you are. Are you a calm person? Do you react to pressure? Are you very nervous by disposition? It's not an easy one, because I had 350 referees in Europe, and I would actually say they were all different. There were a lot of similarities in certain ways that they refereed, probably mechanically and robotically in a sense, because they were following the rules and following their mechanics. But as individuals, that's why we've used sports psychologists in the past, to try and break down this mystique about game management, because some people have it and some people don't. And as much as you want to try and find the common denominator, there isn't one, because everybody has their own common denominator, whether it's good, bad or indifferent. And I don't want to get into the realms of theory and ideas, but a lot of people who avoid conflict is because they're afraid of it, and they lack self-confidence, and they don't have any strategies for dealing with it. You can't be a smart arse with an angry coach or a player, but you can if you've got years of experience and levels of respect. And you find that the greater experience and the greater quality of the referee, they have a lot of strategies to deal with conflict. Because at the end of the day, the job of the referee is to get the game finished. And between from starting and to finishing, they will probably use a number of strategies and skills that they've developed over the years. They've either been taught it or they've developed it, self-developed. It's not, I can't give you a simplified answer as to how referees will deal with conflict, because there's so many different tangents where you can go down. Well, today I'm going to do this because I know the coach or I know the player. Now, if I don't know them, I'm going to have to use another way. But the worst thing you can do is put petrol on the fire. And we have a lot of referees, maybe because they're afraid, they lack self-confidence, they don't have the experience, they fight fire with fire, and then chaos ensues. No, there isn't. There isn't. I can't give you one definition, or even one definition for each question you might ask me, because there's such a big differential of experience and knowledge that referees have. Let's go back to the drawing board. Yes, we have to teach them about what causes conflict. How can we get strategies for dealing with conflict? How does conflict occur? There's lots of questions that not necessarily academics, but people who are teaching this to referees, they can build in strategies and pathways and steps to get over. A lot of people learn from their own mistakes. You know, they realise that that strategy wasn't the right thing in that situation. They really, the chickens come home to roost when there's a fight or there's a court invasion, because that's probably the most difficult thing that happens on a basketball court. I can show you some class court invasions. And then you really need to know if your partner or partners are up to the job, because one person cannot solve a fight. And there are so many different approaches to how to deal with a fight. The first one is you don't go in and get smacked yourself. And if you are going to go in, you can't face either of the combatants, so to speak. You got to go in with your back to them. And I've been thumped in the back of the head once or twice, because, you know, when people start swinging, they ain't going to stop. And, you know, it's not like, come on, calm down and all this. It doesn't work. But that's when you need help. And, you know, part of the pre-game, it depends on what the level of competition. I don't see so many fights at local level. I see lots of arguments and abuse and but I'm really struggling to give you the answer that you want, because there's so many answers to so many situations, and there's so many parameters, and it's all about the individual referee, what that referee is taking on board, what they don't want to take on board, because some of the strategies are challenging for the referee. And if the referee doesn't feel up to meeting the challenge, he or she's not going to use that one. And, you know, I can go after a game and say, well, why didn't you do this? And, I mean, they're not going to say it wasn't my strategy. They just feel that I didn't think I could do that, or I didn't feel confident of doing that. So there isn't one page I can give you how it's solved, because it doesn't. There's so many differentials.
Okay.